All right. Very first swag balls here. Never thrown a swag ball. These are kind of new and different swag balls. That'll hook. Yeah. This is pretty okay. I like it. That's pretty good. Yeah. I'm liking some of these swiggy swag balls. Hello and welcome to my review for the Swag Fusion, which releases on January 31st, and trust me, I'm just as shocked as you are for several different reasons, as you'll see throughout the video. There's a metric ton to talk about, and since that's what I do best, I'm just going to let it flow, and we'll end up where we end up. Now, at the same time, this is still going to be a regular review. I'm not just going to go off the rails and ramble, so whatever you're here for, trust me, I got you. As I always say to get started, I'm a longtime Pro Shop guy, and I've uploaded nearly 2,000 videos with the goal of helping you know what you're buying so that you can waste less money and enjoy bowling more. I have both a full standard review up front and then plenty of on-lane commentary, context, and thoughts in the back half of the video. We are, of course, at Royal Crest Lanes in Lawrence, Kansas on the Kegel Chromium Challenge pattern. It's 42 feet long, 25.5 mils. The graph is linked in the description if you want all of the pattern details. I'm going to set this one up with the specs first to get you started. Very unique place for this one. Symmetric fusion core, 15-pound RG is 254. That's medium to medium high. Think track Cypher here. But then the differential is 036, which is easing into or starting to reach up into medium territory. The easiest reference for the core is going to be the Hype Solid. The Fusion is slightly higher RG though. The cover is Explode Solid. It comes at 3000 grit, and it's definitely stronger than what's on both the Cypher and the Hype Solid, so think stronger version of that kind of reaction. Now, for those that go this far back, it really feels the most like a High Road Nano. That medium-strength core with a big cover on it, there's nothing really like that on the market right now for a one-to-one comparison, though. To try to explain this as briefly and efficiently as possible, and sorry in advance, I'm going to say the same thing in every one of the swag reviews I have coming in case people don't watch them in order per se. These aren't your bros swag balls, and I think just looking at the names, the marketing, optics of the balls, and already how this one is reacting should make that apparent. Mart is now in control of the fulfillment and distribution for the Swag US market, as well as assisting with design, and that means hitting the reset button to a certain degree to make it more of a legitimate competitive brand. Swag became kind of a meme that didn't even really take their own shtick seriously, or that didn't commit to the bit, so to speak, so I've always avoided offers in years past to do any kind of reviews, because I felt like that'd be a hit to my credibility, to be honest. However, when Mart owner Cliff Barnes, who's one of the best dudes in the industry by the way, when he told me what was up and asked me to test him out and shoot him straight on what I thought, I was still hesitant, but also intrigued since it's new stuff. There's nothing called the Black Pearl Bloody Ocean Special Edition Remix Tale of Captain Jack Sparrow or something. It all looks on paper like it's trying to still be edgy and fun, but also seriously compete in the US. I know there's going to be a million questions, so don't hesitate to leave comments. We need to move on to the ball reaction now. To catch up a little, the most comfortable place for me on the lane is a little 14 to 6 or 7 swing, or basically around third arrow, so that's where I start filming from to give me an instant impression. I'm Revan speed matched, and both are medium, so I would say I have fairly average bowler specs. The type of ball I typically use is a strong symmetric, like the Summit or GB5, to weaker or more medium strength ASIMs like a Hammer Effect Tour or Theorem, and the Fusion fits under that zone. The cover feels like it's in Summit or GB5 territory, so it's pretty strong, but the core is quite a bit weaker than those two. However, this one's really interesting. To recap these first two zones, I start at third arrow, then I move out to second arrow and play straight for a bit, then start moving in. I'll talk about this later in the live comm, but I really didn't throw it that great the first two zones, and despite that, was still pretty impressed. It's really continuous for one. It acts like a strong storm ball up front, so you're getting the traction and dig without it wanting to actually be too early or take off too soon. But then it kind of turns into a motive ball down lane with this really round, gradual, slightly arcy and super continuous motion. Unique feeling for me. It doesn't feel exactly like any other company, and I'll say that for all 6 of the balls in this kind of relaunch run, they have their own space. Definitely stronger feeling than storm balls, but not as sharp or responsive. Smoother like motive balls, but not as early and chuggy. And very consistent and predictable in reading the lane like the Brunswick brand stuff, but not as dynamic. Again, I can't point to one ball from any brand, any other brand on the current market at least, and say, yeah, this is exactly what the Fusion feels like. What really shocked me is that with as well as it handled the first 2 zones, I thought, oh, it's going to run out of gas when I get deeper. It's too strong / smooth to want to make the corner, but that's where it really woke up when I fed it a bit more oil and some angle. Throwing it better helped too, of course, but it got so good that it really loosened me up. I don't have this kind of room or forgiveness with any of the other brands like this. Brunswick has kind of become the strong and flippy brand. Everything digs and reads the lane really well and responds, so generally I don't have a lot of room inside. If I get Brunswick brand stuff in a bit, it picks up and goes. The Fusion lays there but still roundly finishes and climbs up through the pins. Storm has always been the clean company, but I also think they have the weakest covers right now, so they'll get down the lane, but I have to really keep them close to the pocket. If I try to play much angle, they just don't pick up or it takes them too long to see the lane, but if I get the Fusion out, it still reads and moves. The cover feels the most like a Motive cover, so it's very strong, plenty of traction, but Motive balls are also typically earlier and chuggier, so while they'll definitely pick up and see the lane, they can get a little slower lazy from bigger angles. The Fusion is definitely on the smoother side like that, but it keeps picking up and making it up through the pins. I think it's going to fit best for medium to higher rev rates and medium to low speeds. If you have higher speed and or a lower rev rate, it's probably not going to be strong or fast enough for you to use on a regular basis. Due to the more medium strength core, it's not going to offer a lot of help to get the ball moving unless you do it yourself, either with more revs or by slowing your speed down. But bowlers like myself, higher rev rates, and those especially that like to slow hook the lane are going to love this one. In addition, these balls are very competitively priced. It's $140 on Bowler's Mart for this one, so a little cheaper than a Cypher and a good amount cheaper than something like a Primal Shock, which is, again, the zone that it kind of fits in. If you like my jersey, by the way, code ROSEDOLL10 at checkout will knock 10% off one of these. Same discount code for 3D printed ball cups and spinners from Scarred Prints. Plus, there's a discount link for 10% off an Exodus backpack, their new journal, or other products. And finally, an email address for custom handcrafted items like pens, bottle openers, and stoppers, and even bowls made out of old bowling balls. All kinds of other great and helpful things in the description. Also, take a look at my YouTube memberships, where for just $5 a month, you can get all my videos early and ad-free. Since I mentioned it so much, I'm going to show it against the Cypher, which has been kind of a sleeper ball that a lot of the pros and tournament bowlers have really liked because it is strong and controllable, but it also gives them a little length to balance it out. So it hooks, but gives them more control over what the ball does and when it does it. High rev rates especially have loved it for this reason. You can see that it's pretty similar overall outside of the shape. The Cypher is definitely more defined at the breakpoint and not really forward, but definitely directional, that kind of hook set, archy, hockey stick type of look. Now what separates the two for me is that the Cypher didn't have enough teeth to get deeper on the lane. Now where the Fusion kept hanging out as I got deeper and deeper, once I moved in past third arrow with the Cypher, it started getting long and lazy. Even when I slowed it down and milked it a little, it just refused to be there. The straighter I played with the Cypher, the happier it was, while the Fusion was perfectly at home from straighter and just as happy when I started moving in. The versatility with the Fusion is probably its most standout characteristic because it did the same thing across the board no matter where I was standing with it or what I was doing with it. Make sure to stick around for the live comm on this one, even if you typically don't. The fun twist here is that when I got these balls, I had no idea what the specs were, so it's just me throwing a ball and reading what it's doing. I whiffed pretty big on the RG on this one, and not gonna lie. The cover strength made me think it was a lot lower than it is, but I did get close on the differential and on the overall comparisons, I think, plus I gave a lot more context on the shot-to-shot quality, what it compares to on just straight ball-to-ball reaction, and where I think it stacks up. This ball is going to go to league and tournaments with me. I really do like this one and think it's competitive with the major brands out there. I never thought I'd throw a swag ball and especially never say anything like this about it. So if you're looking for something different and want to stand out from the crowd or just like throwing stuff you don't see all over the place, at least not yet, give these a fair shake. Swag isn't a meme brand anymore, and if you continue to think that, the joke might be on you. This video was brought to you by Panda Bear Productions. We put the in bowling. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you. That's we're just gonna hit the sweet spot and see what happens. Okay. We can work with this. Right away, this ball seems very, and actually, I don't know what this is the Fusion. As of the time of filming this, I don't know what the numbers are. And I keep tugging it, so this is not helping anything, but I got it in the oil intentionally so I can look at the flare lines. We're gonna go with that. Same layout I put on everything else. Moderate flare. So, I don't know, that's an 040 diff, something like that, 040 to 045, I'm gonna guess. There we go, there's a better shot. Yeah, this is optimum idle territory. For everybody that remembers the Daredevil trick, this might like be a bigger exponent if it's that 248-ish RG 042, 045 differential, something like that. Whew. Yeah, it's a big, strong, solid ball. I do like the rounder shape. See how it handles a little bit of, okay. All right, so that was kind of out in no-no zone. Much outside of 5 here, the shiny, weaker stuff is gonna skid, and the stronger stuff, as long as I don't completely throw it at the ditch or throw it out the window, it will pull up and go. And I got that one out pretty far, pretty quick, and it picked up and didn't puke, so. That's a whole lot better. Yeah, okay. You throw a good shot, reacts good, pins go down. That was terrible. Okay, whatever. Just slow down a little bit. That'll hook. Yeah. This is pretty okay. I like it. It's not as fast as the Brunswick stuff is. This feels somewhere between like a Storm and a Motive ball right now, like the big Storm balls. Like it's not, I think it's still a little bit slower than the Optimum Idle, but it's not quite as like chuggy, chonky as the Motive stuff. Oh, that's really good. Okay. Yeah, that's whatever. That's really good again. Okay. It's pretty good. That's terrible, but it might hang on. All right, so I grabbed the shit out of that and it still worked out, so. That wasn't great, but it looked like it was, so we're gonna move. This is not lane shining that fast either. It still looks pretty, it has shined up a little bit, but not a ton. I'm gonna go back to the sweet spot to recalibrate. Yeah, I'm throwing it like dog shit now, but still looks pretty okay. That definitely needs an extra piece of tape in the thumb. That's really good. Okay, yeah, I like it. I like it. With an extra piece of tape in the thumb, I think it could be a good ball. That's really good too. Man, it's weird because it rolls and it looks like it's gonna go, and then it just takes its time about picking up, and I start to worry if it's gonna make it there, and then it just makes it there, so. With this ball being symmetric and smoother, that this next zone is going to work or look any kind of good at all, but we're gonna try it for science. Okay. I mean, obviously I slow rolled that one. I slow rolled it and caught it, but it wasn't like, my difficulty is throwing it harder. So throwing it slower and hitting it a little bit more is really pretty easy. And some balls, even if you do that too, they still kind of puke. They hook too much, and then the next shot they give up. Okay, I was wrong. That was some high quality shot making right there, and that thing drove by the 8-pin. So that's I did not have faith. Shit. Man, this thing was holding out on me. That's pretty good. Yeah. I'm liking some of these swiggy swag balls. All right, so yeah, this I thought, okay, this ball's pretty good. This ball's pretty okay. It's competitive. Definitely not bad. Not terribly special. Not bad. Now it's really liking this zone here. All right. That doesn't normally hold for me with Brunswick stuff. That shot right there told me something. So unless I completely throw it out the window, it'll hook, but it also holds a little bit. It's got a nice round shape. I don't feel like I have to chuck it to get it in the lane. Man, I've got an absolute trough with this thing right now. Me and this ball are gonna be really good friends. Let's take a look at this last zone. Again, normally I stop where I am here, but let's just keep getting deeper and see what happens here. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. So you can see I was talking about some balls, the smoother balls, even when you do slow hook them, they don't want to do it. They just kind of, it's like, yeah, I'm in the nosebleed section now. This is not what I was built to do. This is not what I want to do. So I'll throw another couple shots here. Just to see, I might have thrown that one bad or something. Oh, that's a whole lot better. Okay. I'm still working kind of hard. That was a really good shot. The other one, I think I flied my elbow a little bit. I am throwing it really slow though. But you give it a little bit more. Get a little bit more gas. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so apparently that first one was just a bad shot, because I got all over that one and it said yes please. And some balls do bog down if you try to slow roll them, because again, if you got an early smooth slow ball and you throw it early slow, it's just going to use up too much too fast. Okay, that one again, I just got a little grabby with it, and I made that one bog down. But still, you can tell it doesn't want to be here. doesn't want to be here. This isn't what it was designed for. It wouldn't have made for hooking the whole lane with a symmetric ball that wants to be early and smooth. Not the smartest thing. Let's try one more shot. And that'll do. Pig. All right, Swag Fusion. US and A.